Today I'm watching Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Season 1, Episode 1. I have seen the Lord of the Rings movies. I've seen the Hobbit movies. I love them. I am in no way a Lord of the Rings lore expert, but I have seen the original movies the most. I've seen them multiple times, so I'm very excited to watch this show. I believe it's a prequel setup, so years before the actual Lord of the Rings, like Sam and Frodo story, and years before the Hobbit as well. So very curious to see what this is all about. I haven't read the Lord of the Rings books, and like I said, I'm not an expert in the lore, so I'm very curious to see where they're going to go with the story, if there's going to be characters' names that I recognize. I know there is 2 seasons out now, and I believe a 3rd one is on the way, but I'm very excited to dive back into this world. I love the movies, and I've seen them so many times, so I'm very excited to finally watch this. So thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content.
Finished yet?
I'm curious if they filmed it in New Zealand like the original movies were. It looks very stunning already. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Obviously, yeah, technology has advanced. Oh, these jerks. Her little boat.
Get off me!
Lose your footing again, Galadriel.
Oh, I definitely recognize that name. Okay, interesting.
But that seems so simple.
The most important truths often are.
And that we don't hear what he said to her.
You won't?
Come along. Mother and father are waiting.
Okay, I'm glad I definitely recognize one character's name at least, and yeah, I knew they would, like, it had to be visually stunning. Like, you can't have the Lord of the Rings name on it and not have amazing visuals. That's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, of course, coming over the hill, the sunrise as well. Gorgeous.
And a legion of elves went to war.
Including her brother. Yeah, and like the technological advancements they would have had.
And strange creatures beyond count. A place known as Middle Earth.
Dun 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 dun. Oh my gosh. It's giving me like Battle of Helm's Deep. Like, I'm very excited. Ooh! Just these epic battle scenes. Oh.
And would last centuries.
That's so sad. Oh.
Now, we learned many words for death.
Oh my gosh, just this mountain. And again, I feel like every shot in this you could freeze frame. It's just a perfect photo.
A cruel and cunning sorcerer. They called him Sauron.
I was gonna say, I feel like I know exactly what the next words are gonna be.
To seek him out and destroy him.
Oh no, her brother. Oh.
I wish I could be one of them.
Yeah, and we know elves can live for very, very long time, so she's just fueled by the vengeance of her brother. I think she's getting a bit ruthless in her conquest. She's like, I don't care what anybody else is doing, like, we're not stopping. Everybody else seems to have given up, and she's just persistent. And taking her team into these, like, that looks awful. Like, that looks so cold. I'm obsessed already. Yeah, there's huge zoom out to see this looming, you know, castle in the background with the lightning. Ugh, amazing.
What story is this?
These orcs were meddling with the powers of the unseen.
Oh my god, he's like melted into the wall. Oh my god. Ugh. It looks really cool. Like a makeup prosthetic side of it looks really cool.
Even stone cannot hide the mark of one whose very hand is flame unquenched.
Yeah, that's the mark her brother had.
Perfecting whatever dark art eluded him here.
We exceeded our orders months ago. Surely we must first return home.
Yeah, they think this is a lost cause. They're like, why are we still going this way? Oh, God. Troll in the dungeon! Oh my god. That thing is so messed up. Great monster, though. That was terrifying. Oh, and even like the way the horns are coming out of his mouth. Oh, bye! Whoa! That's a cool way to jump up. Give him the chops. Ooh! Bye, troll. Thanks for stopping by.
Then you shall do so alone.
Yeah, I think they're done with this. She seems like on a one-woman quest for vengeance, and they've done it enough, and I think she will fully go on her own, but it's gonna be a lot harder, obviously. Her team's leaving her behind. I love the maps. Oh, that was such a smooth transition too into the real world's landscape. So cool. Because if you aren't familiar with Lord of the Rings, I like that they're including some of that stuff so you can kind of get an like idea of how the landscapes are and the different, you know, areas.
Come on, rattle your dags. Let's just get to the lake before sundown.
These giant like moose antlers. Oh my gosh.
Clear and clear.
So cool. And those all look like they were done like realistically, like they would have been practical. That looks so cool. Oh! Yeah, I'm very curious to find out, please no spoilers, but how much of it was CGI. I feel like some of those water shots definitely were CGI, but how much of it was practical.
In the mud. What is it? It looks like a footsie.
That's a big...
It's a dog. You know how dogs love berries.
She's definitely lying, but, oh, yep, something's up there. Oh god, why are the teeth always on the outside? Gah.
And troll blood. And no armor.
Tell me everything.
And I like the way they've incorporated, like, nature into the tapestry and everything. It feels very realistic.
Test him again. You may find him less receptive than you might have hoped.
Not the welcome she was hoping for, I don't think. This set is so beautiful!
If after the ceremony, that is still your wish, you shall have it.
She's determined. I will give her that. Everybody else has given up. She is not giving up. She's still going through this, wants more supplies. Like, she's so determined.
Have swept across crag and crevice, washing away the last remnants of our enemy like a spring.
For centuries? Man, she is not giving this up.
And now at last,
I know that's not really a long time for them, but still, it's crazy.
proven beyond any doubt that our days of war are over.
She's like, actually, I'd like another army and some supplies, please.
Days of peace begin.
Just this defiant stare down, like, actually, that's not what I want to do, but she knows she has to.
At last, they are going home.
Yeah, it sounds like nobody really left Middle-earth after they, you know, left the first time. Like, they stayed and have been fighting this ever since, and it sounds like this is the first time they get to go home.
Instead, I am to leave them.
This is the gift of your king.
I definitely don't think she wants to go home at all. She wants to keep fighting.
A gift I have decided to...
There we go. Yep.
If you are wrong...
I'm not
If you are wrong, will you lead more elves to die in far-off lands?
I mean, she's definitely, laser focused on this one thing.
An outcast, poisoned in dark whispers and dreams.
And in the West, you think my fate would be better?
Yeah, what's she gonna do if she goes home? She's just gonna dwell on this.
If but a whisper of a rumor of the threat you perceive proves true, I will not rest until it is put right.
I don't think she's gonna go for that, but...
What you have always been. My friend.
Yeah, I think so much of her identity has been, you know, this commander of this army fighting. She does not seem like she's ready to retire and relive her glory days. Like, she wants to keep fighting, but I don't know how much chance she has. If no one's gonna go with her, if she doesn't go back, she's gonna be exiled, basically.
Lump us in with died off 1,000 years ago. When are you people gonna let the past go?
Well, this got awkward real fast. I'm guessing he's not welcome here.
And pry us right out from under your pointy boots.
Easy, lad. Quench the fire.
Oh, okay. Oh, just going straight to prejudice. Okay.
Most wounds to our bodies heal of their own accord, so...
Yeah, they don't really need extra help, but...
Or do you think me blind?
No. I think you talk too much. And you smell of rotten leaves.
What a weird insult. Yeah, what is he up to? Is it just because he's, like, friendlier with some of the humans that they're not interested in? Yeah, I'm very curious.
Our outposts are being disbanded. We're leaving.
Oh, that's his worst nightmare. He clearly has a crush on that healer.
But you need never see them again.
He's like, but my lady's here. I don't want to leave her.
What's one of them doing here?
Yeah, it definitely seems mutual. Like, they don't trust the humans don't trust them.
You heal animals too? You could just give her a look.
Oh.
Doesn't the fever?
They were talking about that poisoned grass.
Days ago. Think she might have ate something.
Oh, that can't be good. Ew. Blood. Ugh.
Who told you that? Everybody.
It's a lie.
Maybe that's why your father run off like he done.
Oh my gosh.
Salty rascal's got the king's bounty down there.
This is the real bounty.
What is he up to? Oh, that's... Where did he find that? Yep. Bad times. Bad times are coming your way, kid. You shouldn't have done this. Oh my god, Sauron's got you now. As she's being forced to go home, she's like, this is my nightmare. I just told you that we need to keep fighting. Bureaucracy got in the way.
What you did was right. For Galadriel and for Middle Earth.
So they just lied to her, basically. They know something's going on.
The skies are strange.
Yeah, they seem very much timed with, like, the sky, obviously, and the seasons, and that's how they base their life. Like, they seem very nomadic.
I am here with you. Instead of the Watchword.
Yeah, he, like, abandoned his post and is now on this quest with her.
The only kind touch I've known all my days in this land.
Aww. A smooch? Mm. What is burning? Is that the town?
Warden.
Oh, sugar. Something's not right. Uh-oh. We built a ship, but there's no seating. You're just gonna awkwardly stand for, you know, hours, days, weeks, probably. We getting this party started? Where are we going? That's such a beautiful shot too, with like the clear plane of the water and these birds flying around them, but she seems terrified. She does not want to go towards the light. I feel like everything inside her is telling her to run away. That looks like trouble. Look like we just sent away our best warrior, and yeah, are these like meteors? Like, what is this thing? Is this Sauron again? The Ents. Oh, I always loved the Ents. Don't do it.
Sometimes we cannot know until we have touched the darkness.
And now we finally know what her brother said to her. Oh, man. She's going for that sword. She 100% is. There's no way she's following these guys. Oh, my gosh. I feel like it's gonna be a long swim. Yeah, now she's officially on her own. And just to show how dark and isolated she is in this, like, water by herself. Changes are coming, bud. Leaves are falling. And the music is so good as well. Very, like, yeah, very much in theme with the other Lord of the Rings. Oh my gosh. What is this? I definitely recognize that name, Bear McCready. Yeah, I feel like he's done several TV shows and movies, and the music is always so good. I think he did Outlander, if I'm remembering correctly, the TV show. So that was my first time watching Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Season 1, Episode 1. I feel like first episodes are always so tricky because you have to set things up, even though this is an existing world. If people have seen Lord of the Rings, if they've seen The Hobbit, they would be familiar at least with the, you know, the landscape and some of the characters. But if you haven't seen any of those and this is your first time, you know, living in this Tolkien world, I'm glad that they kind of set some things up that if you had no idea what you were getting into, you could still follow along, because I'd like to hope some new fans of Tolkien would discover, you know, Lord of the Rings this way, but they also played it up like if you had, you know, previous knowledge, they didn't dumb it down for you. So I feel like that's the first tricky balance to kind of come to, and especially, you know, the first movies came out in the early 2000s. Hobbit movies obviously came out more recently, but even those have been close to, you know, 8 to 10 years ago now. So I'd like the chance. It'd be nice to think of a new audience, you know, discovering this world this way. And I love the map overviews. Those were so great. And really, I think, especially for a first episode, you kind of need that. It's a big world. It's a big, you know, Tolkien universe. There's lots of pieces. And I think it could be easy to get lost if you don't have those pieces and you're new to this experience. So I love that they did those overviews and like explain, okay, this is where like the high ranking elves live, and this is, you know, this is their home base here, and this is the land of the humans, and the humans and elves have this conflict. And again, first episodes are tricky because you have to introduce everybody. It definitely feels like Galadriel is going to be our main focus, our main story. Obviously, we had some side characters. We have Nori, this Harfoot character who, please forgive me, I don't remember any Harfoots from the original series or the Hobbit series, but they didn't have the characteristic, you know, Hobbit traits either, so I was curious to see, and then obviously they explain that they're Harfoots, but I loved that scene where they, you know, pull back the trees, basically, and these rugs that are, you know, grass, and they just, you know, pop up everywhere. I thought that was really cool, and I hope some of it was practical. I feel like it could have been done practically. Obviously, CGI would be involved in this show. There's no way they could accomplish the grand scope of those things. Even when we have, the earlier battle scenes when we pull back and we see, Sauron's or one of his old castles or his layers, whatever you want to call it. And, that big reveal with the smoke and the lightning and, all that stuff. Obviously, that would have been, CGI, but it still looked amazing. And I think, to me, when I think, Tolkien and I think Lord of the Rings, I think, epic adventure with, great stories, great friendships. And even though it is elves and other creatures, like, it's still this compelling story as your base. And you need that, I think, no matter what world you're playing in. And it was great to see, we had a few battle scenes with Galadriel's brother, who, obviously passes away in this battle against Sauron. And we have Galadriel, literally take up the sword and continue her brother's fight in this as well, and she fights that troll. So it's nice to see that mix of action and adventure continued. We obviously had some very dialogue heavy scenes in this as well, and we also meet this soldier character who's, basically been patrolling the human lands, and it sounds like a fortnight, he goes to check up on them. And he has a relationship with this healer. They're going to try this, see this other town that's now burned down. So I definitely feel like the first and third act of this were the stronger ones. The second, the middle, I kind of feel like we got lost a little bit. I don't mean it was a bad episode at all. I understand the pressure of a first episode. You have a lot to pack in, even in an hour episode, especially with such a big, fan universe like this show. And, the third act, we see things slowly falling apart. Galadriel literally jumps ship as she's on her own. Everybody has gone back. It doesn't seem like a world you can easily travel in and out of. And of course, we have that scene where she has to make the choice, to go back to her home or to continue fighting. And I knew she wanted to continue fighting. That's been so evident, since she went to this ceremony. She's going to the king to try and get more supplies. She doesn't want to retire. She doesn't want this stupid party. She just wants to keep fighting. And maybe it is a little bit reckless because she is taking people into situations that will get them in danger. She's the commander, they're following her lead. And it's been centuries since they've seen anything. So for her to continue on this path, maybe it is a little selfish. But of course, as we see as we get to the end of this episode, that clearly something is going on. These meteors are flying out of the sky with people in them. We have Nori come across that crater in the ground and there's a person laying in the middle. And yeah, lots of questions. So I think they did a good job ending it. Like, I want to watch the next episode and see where we're gonna go. And even the king talking, he knows something's going on. Like, the elf king is saying, yeah, we had to send her away because, if she keeps going down this path, is she going to find something they don't want her to find? Are they covering something up? Please, no spoilers. Obviously some things are going on and they don't know that she has jumped ship, so I'm curious to find out what's going to happen, because they definitely set it up that if she, disobeys the king anymore, it's game over. And this is definitely a place where tradition and reputation is very important, especially since elves live so long. The healer was like, do you guys have a healer? He's kind of like, we can heal ourselves. We don't really need that. I also think they did a great job with the visuals. I did watch the credits and I couldn't see if it was actually filmed in New Zealand, so let me know. It looked very similar to the landscape of the original film, so they either filmed in New Zealand or found somewhere very similar and did a good job, or it's all CGI, which is possible as well. But it looked, just the same. It felt very cohesive. It wasn't somewhere completely different. Obviously, the ice, that they're climbing and the snow troll was a bit, different, but that was in Middle Earth. And to see the elves, journey to Middle Earth and how they've been there this whole time and nobody's really gone back home. The makeup, the prosthetics, everything, again, that we know and love about the original Lord of the Rings. The orcs, they weren't in this episode for long, but you knew them instantly when you saw them. If you've seen any Lord of the Rings movies, you knew those were orcs. And then I think we briefly saw some Ents as well, which were the trees, so that was exciting. Obviously, it's been, 20 plus years since the original movies came out, and I'm glad that they used some of the technological advances that have happened in the past 20 years, like the, CGI and everything that they could include, but didn't make it feel fake. It still felt very realistic. It still felt scary. The troll monster looked terrifying, and the elf ears, felt realistic. They didn't feel like over exaggerated. They felt like normal extensions of the ears. And to see, that still battle between the humans and the elves, and they've been out there watching them for 80 years. I like that we did start off the episode with a backstory of Galadriel and her connection to her brother, and you know, how important that relationship was to her. Obviously, that's the catalyst for her whole life, basically, is after her brother dies, she goes on this huge, you know, revenge streak and is trying to fulfill his legacy. He wasn't able to, so she's, you know, doing that in his honor. And I feel like there were so many frames from this that you could just pause and take a photo of, and it would just be, you know, amazing when she's putting that stack of the golden helmets of everybody, you know, who's passed away in these battles, and the amount of elf lives lost. And from what I remember from the original Lord of the Rings, like, an elf passing away was a big deal, and, you know, it's obviously not something that happens very often because they do live so long. And to see those, you know, wood carvings as well, like these memorials to these fallen soldiers, was just clearly, you can see that this is, you know, a culture that really values their people. I'm not an expert in Lord of the Rings lore. I'm sure there were some pieces that I missed or hints that I didn't pick up on. If you can leave them in the comments without spoiling, I will appreciate it. If they're going to lead to spoilers, please don't. I would like to continue the rest of these seasons without any spoilers. I hope that there are some hints in here for the, you know, the diehard Lord of the Rings fans that know every little detail. I think that's amazing. I think you kind of have to play to that fan base as well. You can't, yeah, like I said, dumb it down to an extreme where, you know, there's nothing, but I like that they still kept it open for people who would be new to this universe. Overall, I thought it was a decent first episode. I feel the first act and the third act were the strongest. I like Gladriel's backstory, and then, you know, having this last act, everybody's kind of on these separate journeys. Everybody's, you know, in some level of peril. We got Gladriel literally jumped ship and, you know, is now, was she gonna go back? Is she gonna fight? I feel like she, you know, chose the sword over going back to safety. I feel like she would drive herself crazy. You know, she would just be worrying constantly, and the whole, like, we'll call you if something happens. She doesn't seem like that type of character to just sit around and wait, you know, for the proverbial phone to ring. She wants to be out there. She wants to be ready and, you know, in the action. And maybe it is a little bit not being able to move on from her brother as well, but I feel like that's her purpose and she doesn't really know anything else. We have this town on fire. We have these meteors with people in them. That a healer's son definitely has some artifact of Sauron's and is awakened him, and I'm worried about what's happening to that little boy now. Sauron is definitely, you know, inkling in the background, like the little creepy creep that he is. So yeah, it is not all peace and harmony like they tried to sell to Gladriel, and I feel like she knew that. So I'm very curious to see where the next episode's gonna go. I'm curious to see where the series is gonna go, but I like the way that they ended this episode. It's not a cliffhanger, but it's enough of a good intrigue to make me want to continue watching. First episodes are a tough sell, but I feel like they did a decent job. So thank you so much for sharing and this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. Yeah, that's the mark her brother had. Oh, and even like the way the horns are coming out of his mouth. Oh, bye! Changes are coming, bud. Leaves are falling. For centuries, man, she is not giving this up. Definitely seems mutual, like they don't trust the humans don't trust them. We built a ship, but there's no seating. You're just gonna awkwardly stand.